is bandaging the broken, or washing filthy feet. Here I am, Lord, send me. If it's loving one another, even when we don't agree. Here I am, Lord, send me. If I'm poor or if I'm wealthy, I'll serve you just the same. Here I am, Lord, send me. On the mountain or the valley, I will choose to praise. Here I am, Lord, send me. If I'm known by how I love, let my life reflect how much I love you. I love you. And before you even ask, oh, my answer will be yes, 'cause I love you. I love you. If the truth cuts like an arrow, I'll say it anyway. 'Cause here I am, Lord, send me. And if it means that they'll reject me, but I will still love it. If you really from me. If I'm known by how I love, let my life reflect how much I love you. I love you. And before you even ask, oh, my answer will be yes, 'cause I love you. I love.
Thanks to everyone joining this broadcast. We really appreciate it, and we welcome you to another great time on the African Portal Radio TV International. It's going to be a beautiful, lovely hour on this broadcast this hour, as we are going to be putting this great woman of our time on the spotlight. This is Olufisayo Odebode. She is live and direct on the African Portal Radio TV International right now, right here. And it's going to be a great conversation with her. She is one of the great women doing so well in our community, and a job attracts us, and we decide to put her on the spotlight on the African Portal Radio TV International. I really appreciate you being here, and I want to celebrate the great work you are doing in our community, in our society, as well in the continent Africa. Let me allow you to introduce yourself to the listeners at home, who you are, where you are, and the position you hold in the society. You are not new to me. You've been on this program before, but a lot of people will be seeing you for the first time, and they would love to know you. Kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Olufisayo Odebode, well known as Fisayo Check. I'm a worship leader, I'm a worship coach, an author, and an entrepreneur. And so I have written and published up to 10 songs. I have an album, and I have a few singles as well, and my new book is out titled Own Your Stuff, Your Practical Guide to Self-Leadership, Taking Ownership of Your Life. That's my latest baby right there. Yeah, I was here, I think it was in 2021, I'm not sure. I think it was 2021. Yes, it was shortly after the whole pandemic and all of that. So I'm excited to be here. I co-own a business, and I also have businesses that are set up in time past. So I'm an entrepreneur. I love to sing. Obviously, I work at Daystar Christian Center as a worship leader, and I coach worship leaders as well who love to upskill themselves and upskill themselves in terms of worship leadership. And so I'm just excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
It is a great pleasure to have you on the African Portal Radio TV International. It's getting better and better and better. I think I have you about 2 years ago, and I decided, let me bring you back after so many months. Let me bring you back to tell us the progress of what you have achieved in the last few 2 years, and what is coming from your table, and at the same time being the worship leader and the coach. What does it mean to be a coach, and how can somebody be part of your crew or be your student? Those are the things that we are going to be looking into. And later on this program, we are going to go to aspect of where we talk about what is happening in our society and our community as the Nigeria is heading to poll this weekend. And that also will be on the spotlight. It will be gaining momentum on our program as well. And at the same time, we are going to be having the celebration of life on this program as well. So we have so many things coming up on this program this hour. I just want to make sure that I get everybody on board, and I want to plead to those of you that you are listening to this broadcast this hour, kindly share it, let it go viral. The more you share it, the more you give it opportunity to go viral. Let me still celebrate everyone, no matter where you are, no matter the country you reside. I greet you according to your time zone, and I greet you according to your language. And I want to say welcome to the African Portal Radio TV International. It's going to be a beautiful, lovely hour on this broadcast this hour, as we have a lot of things that we are going to be discussing on this program, and we are going to be celebrating this great woman of our time. This is Fisayo Check, live and direct on the African Portal. She's one of the extraordinary great woman of our time, doing so well for herself, based in Lagos, even though she's not look like somebody based in Lagos, but I know she's based in Lagos. She's doing a lot of business in Lagos, and also she's doing well in Lagos. You can tell by the appearance, you can tell by the smile coming out from her. Let me greet you all, no matter the country you are in. South Africa, Dumela, Ashe, Moloi, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to everyone in northern part and the all over Africa, and to all the Muslim brothers and sisters. Shalom to everybody in Jerusalem, and to all the Christians, and also to everyone in East Africa, Aparisa, Muchana in East Africa, and in the northern part of Africa. I greet every one of you. In Central Africa, I greet you, and I welcome you to this broadcast this hour. Globally, I welcome you as I introduce the global voice, the lady doing great work globally, to you on this program this hour. In Nigeria, I greet you in northern part of Nigeria, say in Nakwana, in eastern part of Nigeria, Kedu, and Nile Yoba, eating Bawarika, Kilorubere, Bala, Yamata, Lojare, Erita say Bobi Ajakara, Ukwe, Pata, Kustere, Toda, Biedewa, Moki Yamona, Yellow Gun, Kawaka, Kilorubere, Bala, Eka Sepo, Leku, Dede, Wuye, Pujo, Joshua, for money, Yoshe. Ó ti ń wọlé sí mi lára, ó ti fẹ́ máa gùn mí ẹlẹ́gùn Ṣàngó ni, ó ti fẹ́ máa jà bí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé kí n máa sọ. Ẹbí àti Olúfisáyọ̀ Ọ̀dẹ́bọ̀dé lájọ wà lójú agbágbé yìí tí wọ́n ń pè ní Fisayo Check. Ńlá lájọ ń dàpọ̀ tájọ ń yípọ̀ tí gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ń dùn lójú òpó ètò yẹ̀wò. Ẹgbà tẹ́lọ̀ ń kó láwọn tẹ̀ ń wò lórí ètò mi lọ́wọ́, ẹgbà orin ni olólọ́ ń kó lé wọn lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n ń kóbò wá tán, tí kóbò wá tán yìí. Orin la bí, ó yẹ kó wà lára orúkọ wọn gbà tán kó Olúfisáyọ̀ Ọ̀dẹ́bọ̀dé, orin la bí. Orin la bí, òwò tó bá kọrin ṣe ní ó dàbí àti jẹ́ wípé bí ìgbà táwọn áńgẹ́lì ń kọrin ni. Ẹ dúró, mò ń bọ̀, ẹ jẹ́ ti nìkan wọlé, ẹ jẹ́ àgbò káwò bóyá òótọ́ ni bóyá rọ́ ni. Ẹ jẹ́ agbórin wò ná, tẹ́ ẹ bá gbádùn ẹ̀ ẹ lọ máa download ẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ lè à ń bọ̀ ná.
mending the broken, or washing filthy feet. Here I am, Lord, send me. If it's loving one another, even when we don't agree. Here I am, Lord, send me. If I'm poor or if I'm wealthy, I'll serve you just the same. Here I am, Lord, send me. On the mountain or the valley, I will choose to praise. Here I am, Lord, send me. If I'm known by how I love, let my life reflect how much I love you. I love you. And before you even ask, oh, my answer will be yes, 'cause I love you. I love you. If the truth cuts like an arrow, I'll say it anyway. 'Cause here I am, Lord, send me. And if it means that they'll reject me, but I will still love it. If he will, you are from me. If I'm known by how I love, let my life reflect how much I love you. I love you. And before you even ask, oh, my answer will be yes.
ẹ̀yin náà ti rí nǹkan tí mò ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan wípé àti ìkófánlẹ̀ ifá ti ń ṣe ẹ wò ó bígbà tó ń kọrin ẹ rò pé àwọn èèbó ló ń kọrin ni ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí mo wá ń gbọ́ láàrin orin tí wọ́n ń sọ wípé èmi rèé olúwa rán mi ibẹ̀ mo tún ti wá rí pé ẹgbẹ́ ìwà gbà mí ni àwọn Yorùbá ní máa ń kọrin yìí ẹ wò ó àwọn tẹ́ ń wò yìí kò sí àtọ́nà lè forí dá kò sírú àrà tí ò sí lọ́wọ́ wọn ẹ bá ń jáde lọ síta gbogbo bí ẹ bá wà pátápátá ìwé wọn ti wà ń ta á mọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nípa rẹ̀ orin wọn wà lórí gbogbo ojú òpó pátápátá ẹ lọ máa download ẹ lógúnlógún ẹ lọ máa download ẹ lọ́gbọ̀n ẹ jẹ́ kájọ ṣe àjọṣe wa náà kò sì ní bàjẹ́ lágbára Èdùmàrè. To everyone listening to us, thank you very much for the pleasure of your time. I welcome you to this beautiful broadcast this hour with Olufisayo Odebode. It's going to be a great time on this program this hour. As you are coming in, please share, like, comment, let this go viral. The more you share it, the more you give it opportunity to go viral. Let me quickly engage my guest in the studio. We have so many things we are going to be talking about. As she is author, she's also a gospel artist, and we are going to be talking about so many things on this program this hour. And as you are coming in, please kindly share this program. Share it as many times as possible. Share it as many times as possible. Also, I'm going to be connecting with Otumba Smith as well later on the program, that we are going to be having this together, and we're going to be enjoy this broadcast together. Let me quickly put Otumba on the spotlight. Let's hear from Otumba all the way from Lagos. He's one of the great leaders of our time, and also is one of the people that we have so much respect for when it comes to things happening in our society, in our community. Otumba Dele Ajayi, it is a great pleasure having you on this broadcast this hour, and welcome to the African Portal Radio.
Thank you very much, Dari. Nice to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, sir. I can hear you very well, sir. I can hear you very well. We can hear you all over the world. You are live and direct on the African Portal Radio. I have Olufisayo or Debode also in the studio with me that we are going to be celebrating. She's a great woman of our time. She's author. She have authored many books, and I intentionally put her on the spotlight because Nigeria is a country where we have talented women in our society, doing great, doing, a lot of things in our community. But we seem to look a bit down on the women in our society, especially in a country like Nigeria. We are just trying to balance the equation to also putting the woman on the spotlight. Let me quickly do this. Let me put Fisayo at the middle of this conversation so that she will know her job and she will know why she is here. All right, let me just put Fisayo at the middle of this, at the center of this broadcast this hour, because it's going to be a great time. Fisayo is also is author and also a gospel artist, a coach, and she's doing so well. Otuba Dele Ajayi Smith, you are one of the great leaders doing so well in our community. I just want you to quickly introduce yourself to the listeners at home before we get to the business of the day. Kindly introduce yourself to the listeners at home.
Thank you very much, Bode. Well, I'm simply Otumba Dele Ajayi Smith. I'm a development practitioner. I'm a businessman. But in the last 25 years, I've been so much involved in development practice because I realized that there is much need for our society to develop, for us to build a cultured society. If we must have a better society, if we must develop this country, changing it from the direction of underdevelopment, which we had been experiencing in the last 40 years. So I decided to get more involved. I founded the African Citizens Development Foundation. This foundation was granted special consultative status by the United Nations. And we've been working very hard, working with the United Nations to ensure that we develop humanity, and especially African Citizens Development Foundation being a national NGO in Nigeria, we are very much particular about the development in this country called Nigeria with over 200 million citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Otuba Dele Ajayi Smith. I really appreciate that. I intentionally pair this and I organize this because I know Otuba Dele Ajayi is one of the great leaders of our time that believes so much in development of our continent and Nigeria as a country. And at the same time, Olufisayo Odebode is one of the great women of our time, doing so well in our community. As a matter of fact, a book it will be on the spotlight as well that we are going to be talking about as well. Before we go into the issue of the day, which is one of the things that we are here for, it's also important that we start talking about some certain things that can help us. When we have author in our community, in our society, that is the proof that there is a future for our generation. And our Own Your Stuff is one of the books that's published by the Olufisayo or Debode so well Nigeria. Otuba Dele Ajayi, I really appreciate the. So let's quickly look at the issue of what you say in the last 20 years that you have involved in, and you have the backup of the UN. What is the journey like, and what are the achievements that we can talk about here?
Well, normally when you have a goal, the journey like one of our elders of the past, Dr. Tai Shulani, he said, may your road be rough. It's not been very smooth. It's been rough, but then you can agree with me that when it is rough, then you are adding more value to yourself, to the journey. And so it's very unique. I'm excited that I took this decision in 1996. And by 2000, we incorporated the foundation. And like I said, we've been involved in a lot of development practices. We've been working with the United Nations. The experiences are beautiful. I am glad I choose this path. And like I said, in 2009, the foundation was granted special consultative status of Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. And we've been working with everybody, including women like Olufisayo, because we know the importance of women in our society. For me, women trying to say that they want to equalize with men, gender equality, I think it's another diversion, because naturally women are higher than men and stronger than men, and we're there to help them, for them to be able to achieve all the duties that the Lord allotted to them. We should rather see ourselves as a supporter of women. I don't want to use the word servant, because when I use that, it gets to women in a wrong way, and they look down on us. But for me as a person, I recognize the position, the role of a womanhood as greater. And I used to use the word, no man will get to heaven without a woman. We need a very high complementary of a womanhood for us to be able to achieve success here in the world, and for us to be able to get to heaven after all our efforts. Otherwise, we'll be failing.
Wow, that is a very lovely one from one of the community leader in Africa and one of the scholar in Africa. I really appreciate that, Otumba Dele Ajayi. I'm just laying the foundation. Let me quickly speak to Olufisayo Odebode. Olufisayo, your phone is, your line is on mute. Can you unmute yourself so that we will be able to? All right. Yes, good. Let's quickly look at your book. This book is trending, and I have the scholar. If you look at the back of Otumba Dele Ajayi, you will see that Otumba Dele Ajayi is actually. So today's program is very unique. It's very unique. I'm taking you somewhere. I just want you to have patience. Nigeria needs to watch this program. Africa needs to watch this program. One of the things the African portal, one of the things we put upon ourselves is to allow Africans to tell their story, unite Africa, and create a kind of bridge between the Africa for them to be able to do business within themselves. One of the damage the colonial master do to us is divide them to rule them. And this divide is working in different way. You know, when I come in, when I say, some people will look like, why is he saying this? But it's a great thing. So colonial master have placed it in some people's mind because they are not in that religion. So when you see anybody speaking in that manner, be enemy to that person. That is decolonization, and we have to decolonize. In many ways, we've been boxed, and we have to come out of the box. Democracy is one of the things they were using to put us in the box. Religion is another thing that they are using to put us in the box. But thank God that we have people like Olufisayo Odebode that is thinking out of the box to publish a book. Okay, Olufisayo, let's look at your book now before we get to the business. Our Own Your Stuff, what it is all about. And why this book at this time? What exactly are you talking about?
Okay, so the title, thank you so much for having me once again. And Otumba Dele Ajayi Smith, it's so nice to meet you here.
Nice
Thank
to
you for
meet you.
making my head and our head swell, we women, with that very short speech of yours. I was just smiling and grinning from ear to ear. Thank you so much, sir.
You're
I
most
honor you.
welcome.
So Own Your Stuff is, like I said, my baby right there. The book is about self-leadership. The subtitle is Your Practical Guide to Self-Leadership, Taking Ownership of Your Life. And what I try to get at with that book is that we live in a very difficult environment. We love our nation, we love Africa, but even around the world, we already know this is still a developing part of the world. And so we have some challenges. Although common to men, but they are very critical to us here. For example, talking about equality, while some parts of the world, they are doing better in terms of equality of men and women, we are still trying to get to their level in terms of that. And so there are challenges that we are facing here. You can imagine we still do not have 24-hour, 7 days electricity power supply. We are still, in some parts of Nigeria, we are still struggling with getting potable water for people to drink. And so the struggles are real and the struggles are there. However, what I am saying in this book is that you have to take ownership of your life. Before you can take ownership of your community, take ownership of your nation, take ownership of your world, you must pay attention to yourself. You must discover yourself. And have a great interpersonal relationship with yourself. And from there, you can now think of having a vision for your life. And then you can now think of quitting, bad habits that have held you bound and all of that. All of that starts from self-discovery. And so in this book, I went from chapter to chapter to take us on a journey of my own life experiences and how I've still been able to come out of it and realize that I've got to take responsibility for my actions and inactions, for where I didn't do right by myself and for my community, and what I could have done better. And so that's basically what this book is about. It's just taking us on a journey of self-leadership, whereby this is the slogan. This is the same thing that I say on almost every media appearance that I've made. You do not determine what life throws at you. You don't determine the family you are born into. You don't determine the nation that you are born into. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. I didn't ask to be born. Maybe if I asked to be born, I would have said, hey, God, I want you to please give birth to me in New Zealand, in Switzerland, in United States of America. I could have made that request, but it's not in my power to make such requests. And so you don't determine what life throws at you, but you get to determine how you respond to the situations and the circumstances that are going on around your life. And how you want to ensure that you become a person of value to yourself, a person of value to your community, a person of value to your nation at large. And in summary, that's just what I was trying to get at with this book. The first chapter is titled "A Close Look at You," and this is where the self-discovery comes in. I try to hey, if you don't know so much about yourself, there are so many personality tests that you can take out there. They are all over there on the internet. You can take some tests to just understand yourself. What triggers you? What makes you angry? What makes you happy? What makes you excited? What gets you in the mood to work? A lot of these things are important for you to my sister is saying she's rooting for me, Sister Fumulady. I see her comments right there. You have to take a close look at yourself. This is very key to being a person of value to yourself and to your community and to your family. And after that, you can now say, hey, I got to quit the blame game. It's okay. I cannot continue to blame Nigeria. I cannot continue to blame my parents. I cannot continue to blame my society. I cannot continue to. Yes, we demand better from our leaders, but I cannot blame them totally for where I am in life, because at the end of the day, they control a good part, a good part of what happens in your society. But you create your own world, you create your own environment, you create your own starting from your family. You know, at the end of the day, the government is not going to come into your house to come and tell you how to live your life. You have got to determine how you want to live, how you want to respond to the things happening in your society. And so this is what I tried to get at. I mentioned, my health challenges. I took notes. I documented my educational journey, how it took me 10 years to get my bachelor's degree because of my health, because of the broken systems, But at the end of the day, am I achieving some of my goals in life? Yes, I am, because I have decided, that no matter what happens in my community, no matter what happens in this society, I'm still going to make a headway. I'm still going to achieve something with my life. And I'm going to make sure that I remain a person of value. I do not blame people I take responsibility for my actions. Yes, they might have, their own contributions to quote and unquote my downfall, quote and unquote to my slow progress, to my shortcomings. They might have their own contributions, but at the end of the day, I still determine if I want to become a successful person or not. And my mom is here too. She's rooting for me. I see her in the comments.
Fantastic.
All right. You know what I like about this conversation this hour. Those of you that you are coming in, I'm coming to you. You are the co-host of this program because you are commenting on this program. You are the co-host of this program. We are going to do it together. We can only achieve this together. And Otuba Dele Ajayi, I really appreciate it. I'm seeing you for the first time. I approach you. I spoke to you. You believe in what we are doing, and you agreed to be on this program because I am doing something behind the scene. I do a lot of background check about you, and I look at the guest that is coming to the program. I say, who is the right person that I can pair this guest with for us to be able to achieve something out of this program today? We need to achieve something great that will be used for future tomorrow, that we say it was through this program that we managed to build this. Because if Africa don't rise to the reality of the time now, if we fail to do the right thing now, the coming generation will find it so difficult to survive this life. And it starts with us. And thank God that we have an elderly person in the house, and the person of Otuba Dele Ajayi. Otuba Dele Ajayi, once again, I thank you for being here.
Ajayi Smith.
Ajayi Smith.
Ajayi Smith in compound. Because
my father, I see the hyphen.
My father was a blacksmith, and I decided not to be Agbede. I decided to be Smith so that the Western people can pronounce my name very well. So some 35 years ago, we had
I love that. I love that, sir. But I'm a kind of person that is so, I am so into Yoruba. I believe so much. When I'm addressing anybody Yoruba, I remove your English name straight off. Because I don't believe in English as a language. I'm just using English to communicate. I respect my language. I love Yoruba. So when I'm speaking to anybody, immediately I see the Yoruba, I keep the Yoruba. I keep the English away. I'm addressing the person in Yoruba because that is who you are.
Fantastic. I agree with you. I agree with you.
So, sir, let's get to the business. I like what you say, Olufisayo or Odebode. You are already lay a very beautiful foundation on this broadcast this hour. And that is one of the things that I'm going to be laying build on. But firstly, let me greet Fumi Oloyede. Fumi Oloyede, you are the co-host of this program. Thank you very much for being here. Okoyemi Odebode, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it. Keep sharing it, keep talking about it, keep sending it out. Invite more people to join because we are going to build another Africa on this program today. We are going to build a new Nigeria on this program today. Election is good, but can we say that every 4 years we go to poll? And after the 4 years, we'll be telling the same story that we are still struggling. There's still poverty in our land. People still don't have access to electricity. People still don't have access to water. I mean, it shouldn't be so. So those are the things that we are going to look into. Fisayo, let's look at the story of your life, which is one of the things you published in your book. You have a beautiful story to tell. Give us a brief of what happened and why you choose it to be like, this will help somebody out there. Tell us about it.
Sometimes, I mean, I'm glad that I have an elderly man here, so he can. I tell sometimes in life, you just feel like
I never love anybody to call me an elderly man. I'm as young as yourself.
Sir, we are in Yoruba land, sir. We give honor to who the honor is due.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Nice. There are sometimes in life you just feel a call to document certain certain life experience, because you just feel like they've taken you into a point, as a Christian, you say what the enemy meant for evil, the Lord turned around. You just feel like those experiences, they took you into a dark place, and at the end of the day, they kind of made a major aspect of your life's journey that has given you leverage today. For example, I talked about my academic journey, and we are not new to things that go around here in Nigeria. For some people, it's the strike and the strike and the strike. But for me, it wasn't even about strike. It was about experiences with certain lecturers, in which I documented in the book. Certain lecturers, my health. It was majorly my health, and then my lack of communication properly to the necessary bodies. I could have easily just taken a leave of absence the times when I was sick. I had two major health crises that lasted altogether 17 months. One was for 6 months and the other one was for 11 months. And it was very severe that I wasn't personally, my mom is here watching. It was really terrible that everyone was afraid of losing me. My mom was afraid that this girl is as good as gone, because we did all manner of tests, but we just couldn't figure out what was going on. And at some point, like I detailed in the book, if a little breeze should just pass me by, it's going to make me feel like I'm a piece of cloth on a hanger or something. That's how terrible I would feel when a vehicle passes by me. And at the end of the day, when I was ready to clear myself, it was so difficult. I thought I was going to lose it all, like I wasn't going to get my bachelor's degree anymore, until a lecturer took interest in me and started to help me out and tell me, what letters to write, who to see. And then at the end of the day, because this lecturer is a male lecturer and I never knew him, some people started to think maybe there was something in it for him. Maybe, we are very fast to think is either the person has gotten paid in cash or in kind. But when you see a pretty lady like me, I'm proud to say so. The first thing that will come to your mind is maybe she has paid in kind, because they just didn't understand this person is not in my department, is not in my faculty, but he's a Christian man who just believed that 2 courses shouldn't make me lose my entire bachelor's degree. And he was like, hey, what can be done about this? There's got to be something that could be done. And then we sat down, he started to check all my pages from my year 1, and he was like, hey, you weren't even doing so badly, what happened? And then I said, hey, I had a health crisis and all of that. This is one example. Also in that book, I talked about my journey to healing, my journey of healing, because I was molested as a child in our home, by family, by relatives and all of that. And it made up a major aspect of my life, because it had a great impact on me, that I was finding it difficult to let go, to forgive some people who I felt like they molested me, who I felt like they violated me and stuff like that. And so these are issues that are common to Africans, that are common to Nigerians, that are common to people around the world. You know, children who are molested, children who are raped. You know, I wasn't raped, but I was molested. But you know, like I keep telling everybody, it's not about the degree of what has happened. It's about the impact on the person. And so I've had to go through a journey of healing, get counsel, you know, with this. But this is Nigeria, where people are still being silenced. They cannot even come out and say, hey, I was molested, because really, as a child, I should have been able to walk up to somebody and say, somebody is violating me. But because as a female, as a child, you know, it was almost like a man's world, where if the person is an older person, they are going to believe the person instead of believing you as a child. And so it was even difficult to speak up. And growing up in a mixed family where I had steps, and I also had a half sibling, you know, and it was different people from, you know, the different parts of the family. By the time you come out and say anything, it's going to look like, hey, this child is about to destroy the whole family, is about to do this, is about to do that, you know, and probably say, oh, her parents are teaching her to say this, you know, all manner of terrible things that could come up from this. And so we are still in an environment, and now in hindsight, and even with the current situation in Nigeria, there are still people going through a lot that cannot open up their mouth and say, hey, I'm being molested, I'm being raped, I'm being abused. Even emotionally, some people even think that there is nothing called emotional abuse, that since you cannot see the physical scar of the abuse, then it is not abuse. And so this is the society that we are living in, and that we have to still thrive, and that we have to still be successful. And so someone is dying within themselves. They don't know how to communicate what is going on inside of them. And you still expect them to be good people within the society. You still expect them to have a normal, to contribute to the society positively when they are dying within themselves. And these are the things that we are facing educationally in the health sector. I lost my friend Muradion Balogun to armed robbers who stabbed her, and also to the health sector, because they couldn't, you know, they couldn't take care of her. They said she needed what's it called? She needed a police report, police reports before they could attend to her. You know, these are the issues that we are facing. Policy issues in government, in health, in education, a lot of things that we need to take care of in this country. And you know, I like what Mr. Dare said about going to the poll every 4 years, and it's still the same issues. It tells you that the solution is not particularly on the ballot. The ballot is one aspect of solving the problem. It also goes straight into the family, into each individual, because the people who make up the government are you and I. Human beings like us, raised in families by parents, by father, by mother. They were raised. What kind of values did they raise them in? How did they train them? Who did they tell them to become in life? Did they tell them to become people of integrity, people of honor? How were they raised? These are the challenges that we are having. It goes beyond just pressing the ballot. Pressing the ballot paper is very, very important. But, you know, these are some of the things. I didn't go into politics, but, you know, I'm just trying to say that I was able to, with my challenges, lay a foundation for some of the challenges that we are going through in Nigeria, and how, irrespective of all this, you've got to take care of yourself, and you've got to become a person of value still.
All right. Fisayo, I just want to confirm this from you. Have I ever spoke to you behind the scene before?
No, sir.
Have we ever had this conversation before?
No, sir.
All right. So, Otuba, this is assignment for you. And this is the reason why you are on this program this hour. You listen to the story. Thank God you have an organization backing up with UN. The assignment is that there are so many people in Nigeria, for a case study, that have the same problem, but they cannot speak out.
Yeah.
That is one. Two, there are some people going through the same thing right now as we speak, and they are dying in silence. So I like your comment. What attracted me to you, Otuba Dele Ajayi Smith, is your comment on a group that we belong to. Your comments call my attention and let me know that you are knowledgeable, a good leader, a person that wants best for everyone in Nigeria. If eventually you become a president of Nigeria, I mean, you know exactly the problem of the people and you know how to deal with it. Smith, let's do this. Can we say that most of the leaders that we are voting for since 1999, can we say that they don't know what people is going through in Nigeria? Can we say that they don't have the clear understanding that people are in hardship? Can we say that they don't have understanding that there is high level of poverty in the land? Of course they know, but everybody seems to shine away from that. And every 4 years, they still come back, recycling the same set of people, putting them in power, and the masses are still the one coming out, voting for them. Honorable Dele Ajayi Smith, sir, I just want to get something from you. Do you think that the democracy we are practicing in Africa is best way of government?
Well, thank you very much. Let me quickly say this, that democracy itself, all over the world, is aberration. It's aberration because when at the beginning of the history of man don't choose their leader. Nature choose their leader for them. That's when you have this monarchic institution. If you look at it back in the scriptural story, you will see that you have David. Let us start from that level. Well, I practice spirituality. I am not a religious man, and I believe so much in that. Most of the things Fisayo have said, we can analyze it one by one. But I am trying to say that democracy is an intellectual exercise of man, which does not take us anywhere. It is very challenging. If you look at the whole world or major countries of the world, you will discover that, well, because we have chosen democracy, our democracy come in a way that represent two group of people. Has developed so well. The people you call bad people in America will go for the best human beings you have here in Nigeria because of their level of development. But even at that, you will still find that the most critical people, the most unfriendly people, the most capitalists who think only about their own goes directly to the Republican in America. And then you will see that those who are benevolent people, they go into Democrat. And you will notice one thing, that they will hardly move. They will hardly change their party. Unlike what we have in Nigeria, that somebody is a member of PDP today, if it becomes hot for him, he goes to the next party, the winning party. For instance, you have the conservatives, and then you have the Labour. I recall that I was in England for 2 years in 2009, 2010, and 11. And since then, the Labour Party lost the opportunity and they've been blocked. But you see, if you asked me that October, which group do you belong to? Naturally, I belong to group that is benevolent, group that will represent the people well, the well-being of the people, and so on and so forth. But in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, let me tell you, we're just beginning. We have a long way to go. And let me also tell you that with what Fisayo has said in our book, the greatest thing that I have noticed and I've been advocating for in the past 25 years is the fact that when citizens are weak, they promote bad leadership. They promote bad leadership. And in Africa generally, the greatest problem we have is weak citizenship. And any leader that what is sought must try and develop citizens to become stronger, to become, to answer the question you asked me. Most leaders don't want their citizens to be strong. They want their citizens to be weak so that they can exploit these citizens and take all the commonwealth of the society away from them, put it in their pocket. One wonders what they want to do with this commonwealth, huge amount of money, because I can assure you today that if I have 1 billion naira, I will probably collapse and die. I don't think I have the need for it. But there are people who have 10 billion, 50 billion in their house doing what with it. But you will see quickly that because of the weakness of the citizens, they are followed. These kind of people have disciples, have followers. They worship them. That's the level of our human. And that's the duty that you and I have. I am glad that you are speaking about Africa. I started speaking about Africa some 30 years ago, and I joined the movement of Pan-Africanism because I just see that we have so much opportunity in the continent of Africa, and we abuse these opportunities. We never hold it as Fisayo is holding herself, in spite of what she called a misfortune, disadvantages at the level of growth, develop early age. But she took it upon herself to challenge herself and to see that, yes, I want to be strong. Well, simply what she's doing is, I want to be strong. I want to hone myself. And I want to be important in this society. A weak person will not be able to do that. And unfortunately, we have a majority weak people who will succumb to any story, who will succumb to any political party, who is ready to become a follower to any bad leader. See that when they are not happy with a leadership, that leader, it's going to lose. I remember one of our military leaders here in Nigeria, is late now, Dom Katbali. He said, we're not strong. We leaders, even with our guns at our disposal, we're not strong, but because the citizens are weaker than ourselves, We have never seen anybody who challenged us with our gun. And so we succumb. I can bet you that with the initiative you are creating now, and with the unique person like Olufisayo, and of course I'm an advocate of a better Africa. I think we can do a lot together to change the face of this continent. I'm just coming up with a new program that will bring diaspora, invite the diaspora to Africa and let us light up this continent. Because this continent is in darkness. We have everything. We have all the resources of this world. And that's why the world itself, you cannot blame the Western world. Look, I have choose, even though I have some spiritual knowledge, that I will not, if I share it with you, you'll be confused. But the reality is this: that which is weak, it's in your Bible. That which is weak will overcome the weak ones. The one that is strong, I mean to say, that which is strong will overcome the weak ones. If you are strong, have you noticed it? If you have a friend and you are so friendly, you are so nice, you are jolly good friends, you are so compatible, you are doing everything together, and all of a sudden another man just came to, another young man like your age just came to your life, and you find compatibility in that one, the two of you will suck out that person who is not as strong as the two of you. And over time, they will discover that, oh, Dare and Fisayo, they are more getting closer than the other one, but Dare used to be more closer to the other person. This is not just happening naturally, I mean, ordinarily. It is a natural consequences of strength. And so, Oyinbo coming here to take charge of our of what we have. Don't blame them all on the white men. They came around, they discovered that you have so much and you are not using them. They give you something. Look at it. Since I started promoting development activities, I hate thinking of going to write proposal. I know I cannot run away completely from it. But yes, they will ask you, come and prepare a proposal for us. We will give you $100,000 at the end of the day. By the time 200, 1,000, 10,000 of you had written this proposal, downloading your knowledge, downloading your experiences, everything, they give maybe about 5, 10 of you $100,000 each. But look at what they have taken away from you. They will go and use that to further develop their own society. You have taken 100,000 in 10 places, which is just 1 million. But they've taken billions from you, from your knowledge, from your experiences. Of course, experiences is knowledge. So I think the way to do it is for us to begin to demonstrate strength and start thinking of way that we can show to this they are still our brothers, they are human beings, they are our brothers and sisters, but show to them that you can also develop yourself, you can go side by side, which is called how do we call it in the development? Fisayo mentioned it in the passing when she was discussing. It is interdependency. You don't rely on them, but you can go side by side. You can give them what they don't have, and you can take what you don't have from them. And then you go side by side. No one is more important than So
All right,
ordinary.
sir.
Thank you very much. I hope I've not taken
Thank
all
you
your
very
time.
much, sir. The network is actually breaking in between, but you are saying it the way it is, and I'm so excited that we are having this conversation. Fumioloyede, if you can call me on +277033584. I love what you're saying, and I love the fact that you are part of this conversation. And the input that you are putting into this program is very valid and very important. She said something. She said we have different kind of abuse. One, emotional abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, psychological abuse, and the physical abuse, sexual abuse. And these are the things that some people doesn't know. They say, I know he never touched me. He never touched you, but a lot of things have gone on. But we are not going to that today. That is not what we are here for today. Today, we want to liberate the mind of people before they go to the poll. Before you go and press your thumb into whoever you want to vote for, we firstly want to speak to your understanding, to your mind, to your sense, because it's one thing to vote, it's another thing to get a result. What is the point of us doing things that is not giving us results? We are not getting the result. We are practicing the system that is not giving us results, and we keep on going through the circle, and none of us come up with idea that this thing that we are doing is not bringing solution, and we all going like zombie, like Fela say. You know, when Fela is talking, then they say I'm boni, I'm boso, but the man is telling us the fact. And it's that fact now that we are facing now, but we are still shying away from the reality that this is not helping us. Walk around the city of Lagos. Look at the roads. Look at the roads. Stop, let's deceiving ourselves, because Island is not Lagos. Hello? Island is not Lagos. You keep on deceiving ourselves. We show the picture of Island. Island is Lagos? Have you ever shown the picture of what is going on in Agangbadi? Have you shown the picture of what is going on in some part of Lagos? It's horrible. Look at the road networking in Lagos. It's horrible. But we keep on saying, giving the reference to stupid idea that is not even working for us. So this is why we're putting this program together. Officer, let me quickly do this because we have a very short time, and I want to make sure that I use this time very, very well for us to be able to achieve the purpose of this program. Sir, assignment is already on your table as an advocate of progress of Black, of Africa. The assignment is already on your table regarding Fisai. So that is all of the assignment that is in front of you now, sir, on this program. But Fisai, let's look at this. You are not only speaking through your writing, you also speak through your music. Fisayo is also a gospel artist and a music instructor. So before we continue on this program, I just want our listeners at home, please don't stay away. I just want to give you something very interesting. My guest in the studio, you can just use that to quickly zip the water. We're coming back. Let's quickly see Fisayo in action. If you love it, put in comment section. If you like it, go to YouTube, go and download our song. And if you like what you are doing, please put it on comment section. We're coming back now. Enjoy this. We're coming back.
I came here with an expectation. And I realized when I plug into God, I ask anything. Anything. It sounds ridiculous, but God meets us at the point of our needs.
But Jesus, He bled and died for me. Jesus, your grace, am nothing without. And that's what it's doing tonight. It's shining upon you. Shines on me. Your grace is shining.
Thank you very much, everyone joining us. We really appreciate it. That is another side of Olufisayo Odebode, Fisayo check that you have always seen. But I'm showing you another part of her, that she's author and she's doing well for this community. She's on the spotlight on the African Portal with Otumba Dele Ajayi Smith, and we are having a conversation. The reason of this conversation is for us to be able to take the Olufisayo project to the next level, beyond what it is now, and also for us to speak to our community, especially in Nigeria. We have just 4 days to the election, and many of us doesn't have a clear understanding of what it is to go out there and vote. The one you voted 4 years ago, what is the game? Because some of you went out there, you collect the bribe, they give you 1,000 naira to vote, you collect the 1,000 naira and you suffer for the rest of 4 years. In the last 3 or 4 weeks now, people have been in such a terrible situation in Nigeria. But still, we still don't think about it. When you look at the campaign ground, you will see a whole lot of people at the campaign ground. And you'll be asking yourself, but they say that there is poverty in Africa, they say there's a poverty in Nigeria. How come these people are out here right now still campaigning for sake of the failure, that have failed them? How come? But it's by design. It's by design. They have to come out because they give them 1,000 naira and they create them poverty so that they will be able to give them the money. You that have 1 million naira in your account, if somebody is promising to give you 1,000 naira to come and vote, are you going to vote? No. That is why they create the hardship. That is why we have the large number of poverty in Africa, because the system that we are practicing is the system that is designed to put ourselves in prison. Is advanced slavery. And that is why I am putting into the spotlight the strong, the people that are strong. And I like it that we have known now that if you're weak, that will capitalize on your weakness and you will always be the slave. But if you're strong, you will put your voice out there, whether by singing, whether by written or whatever, you will put your voice out there. Otumba Dele Ajayi Smith, thank you very much, sir. Let's quickly look at the journey so far. We just want to learn from your experience. You said something earlier on that you are Otumba Dele Ajayi, but you don't want to use the Agbede. I want us to go into that Agbede right now. And as you are going to that Agbede, for those of you that are following this program that you don't understand Yoruba, you have to be, you don't have a choice now, because I'm wearing the garment and going quickly to Yoruba land. We have to do it the way it is. We cannot keep on promoting somebody's language. There's nothing so special about this English. So don't blindfold yourself and think English is the best way for you to communicate. And you are telling your child, no, don't speak Yoruba, you must speak English. There is nothing like that. Forget it. Forget English. We are using it right now, but time is coming, and Otumba Dele Ajayi also can support me on that. The time is coming that this English is not going to be in disposal again in Africa. Africa is going to wake up to the reality, because that is where our freedom first come from. We're going to banish English in Africa and Africa will be using their own language to communicate within themselves. We are just using it temporarily now. We don't learn it, we don't speak it at home, but we are speaking it now. We never grow up. Our parents never speak English to us. We speak Yoruba at home, but we are speaking English. We learn it in the university. So why you that your parents speak Yoruba to you in your house, you are now the one that is now voting against Yoruba in your home and letting your children be speaking Oyibo, and you are rejoicing. Ọmọ mi gbọ́ Oyinbo, ó tọrọ ẹni. Òyìnbó wèrè ló gbọ́, kò ní gbé débi kankan. Ẹ̀rù tó fi mú lẹ́rú tí wọ́n fi mú sìn lọ́la o ló ń ṣe o. Kí ló dé tó Òyìnbó ń wá sí Áfíríkà wá kọ́ èdè wa? Nígbà tán wá kó wa lẹ́rú, ẹ rò pé wọ́n gbọ́n ni. Gbogbo tí wọ́n jí ọ̀nà fi kó wa lẹ́rú lónìí. Èdè ni wọ́n fi kó wa lẹ́rú lọ́la. So gbogbo èyí tí gbọ́ ní gbogbo àgbáńlá ayé mo dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ èyí tí ń gbọ́ wa. Èyí tí wà lórí ètò yìí mo kí ládéládé mo kí lóyè mo kí Ọ̀túnba Délé Àjàyí. Bàbá ojú òní ti yé bàjẹ́ òní bá yẹ ní pé sọ̀rọ̀ bí ó ṣe bí ọmọ ó ti wọ́ṣọ èdè Yorùbá lórí ibi tá à ń wọ̀ yìí èmi àti ibi kẹsẹ̀ bọ́ ṣòkòtò kan náà ti di kẹ́ríkẹ́rí kẹ́kẹ́kẹ́ yóò dùn gbọ́pẹ́ yóò kàn sí lórí ètò yẹn lárí oúnjẹ ìgbà ìkó gbé kan gbogbo èyí tí wòwẹ́ máa ṣíà ètò yẹn máa láìkẹ́ máa kọ́mẹ́ǹtì ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá gbédè Yorùbá tí bá parí ètò ẹ pè mí wọ́n sọ tí bá sọ ní gbogbo tí bá sọ lóyìnbó pátápátá tí mo sọ lédè Yorùbá pátápátá wọ́n sọ fún ilé ìbò ẹ pè mí lẹ́yìn ètò ẹ wò ó ìbàjẹ́ òní bá wa àní dààmú ire báyìí lójú owó rire ní kò wọlé wa ìbò ń bọ̀ lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà a fẹ́ dìbò lẹ́ pariwo ṣùgbọ́n kò sówó lóde kò sépo kò sọ́nà kò síná kò sómi gbogbo èyí ò kàn yín mọ́ ẹ ti gbàgbé gbogbo èyí ò ètò kàn yín báyìí ni pé ẹ fẹ́ dìbò kó o tó lọ dìbò ètò dì lọ́dún mẹ́rin tó kọjá kí ló mú bọ̀ ọbẹ̀ kí ló gbà bọ̀ ọbẹ̀ wọn ò ní ẹ má dìbò tẹ́ bá fẹ́ dìbò wọn ò ní kẹ́ ẹ má lọ gba ìwé ìdìbò yín o ìbéèrè tí mò ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín ni pé ìbò tó dì lọ́dún mẹ́rin tó kọjá kí ni nǹkan tó lè mú lájú orí kan tó lè jáde pé ìbò tá a mọ̀ dì nǹkan báyìí ló mọ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ ládùúgbò wa tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ ní ẹ fi sórí kọ́mẹ́ǹtì kẹjẹ àjọ sọ wọ́n ní ọ̀gbà ọ̀jẹ̀ nínú tá a bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ìlú tó sì jẹ́ onímọ̀ nípa ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ tí wọ́n tún jẹ́ ọ̀gbà ọ̀jẹ̀ nípa wípé à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ènìyàn sí ènìyàn báwo la ṣe ń ṣe láàrin ara wa. Mo ní Ọ̀túnba Délé Àjàyí àgbẹ̀dẹ wọn láwọn ń fi Smith sí torí pé kóyìnbó lè bá lè pe àwọn òyìnbó pàgbẹ̀dẹ kò ní choice kò ní dá fún yàrá ìyá rẹ̀ yóò pe àgbẹ̀dẹ kò ní choice. Bàbá ìbàjọ́ òní bá wọjú òní tì wá àní rí gbé sọnù bí ò ṣe bí ọmọ lágbára Èdùmàrè. Ẹjọ́ ti nìkan mú ẹ̀yin bí àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ ní àwùjọ lámẹ̀ntọ́ àwùjọ ni Yorùbá ń pè yín lámẹ̀ntọ́ àwùjọ òun Yorùbá ń pè yín. Nígbà tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan Olúfisáyọ̀ ṣàlàyé àwọn nǹkan kankan nípa bí wọ́n ṣe ń dàgbà àwọn nǹkan kankan tí wọ́n dojú kọ àwọn nǹkan kankan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wọn láàrin ìdílé àwọn nǹkan yìí sì ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láwùjọ wa ẹ̀yin bí àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ ẹ sọ díẹ̀ fún wa nípa ìrìn àjò yín bí tẹ́ ti ń bọ̀ ẹ sì la àwọn aráàlú lọ́yẹ̀ nípa àwọn nǹkan tí Olúfisáyọ̀ tí wọ́n ti ṣàlàyé lẹ́ẹ̀kan.
Ẹ ṣe púpọ̀ mo gbádùn gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí Olúfisáyọ̀ sọ bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ló fi sọ ó lè dàbí pé Dáre ò tẹ̀ fẹ́ gbọ́ èdè àwọn onígẹ̀ẹ́sì yìí ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ fàyọ ńbẹ̀ ni wípé ohun tí mo fẹ́ fàyọ ńbẹ̀ ni wípé adánilóró ń fagbára kọ́ni ni gbogbo ìrírí tí Fisáyọ̀ ní nígbà yẹn gbogbo àwọn nǹkan ẹwà tó kó jọ wo ohun ẹ̀ lórí orin wo ìwé tó ń kọ àwọn ojúgbà ẹ̀ tí wọn ò tiẹ̀ ní wàhálà ọ̀rọ̀ àìsàn tí wọn ò ní nǹkan kan tó bá bojú ẹ̀yìn tó bá lọ wò wọ́n tó bá wo ibi tí wọ́n wà ẹni tá a dá lóró agbára náà fi kọ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń gbé jáde tí òyìnbó ń pè ní talent tó wá níyì tí ò bá ní àwọn ìṣòro wọ̀nyẹn tí ò bá àbí tó bá jẹ́ pé nígbà tó ní àwọn ìṣòro wọ̀nyẹn kò ní ìmí nínú láti sọ pé mi ò fẹ́ léyìí, mi ò ní gba eléyìí ò gbọdọ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí mi, because nǹkan tá à ń sọ nìyẹn. Strength èyí tó jù nínú àwa aláwọ̀ dúdú. Nígbà táwọn òyìnbó wá ń kó wa lẹ́rú bí ṣe bí ìkan nínú ara wa náà máa pè tó máa ní wò ara agbé ìbọn ìwà fún yín, ẹ fi pa nínú àwọn ọmọ yín kẹrin kó ń ṣiṣẹ́. Wọ́n á dẹ̀ gbà wọ́n á fi pa èmi ìtorí jígí ìwògbè òun náà máa sọ pé à á fún ẹ léléyìí tó bá lè fún wa ní tó bá lè fi àwọn èèyàn yín bíi 5 mẹ́wàá tó bá fi rọ́pò. Ṣé bí wọ́n ṣe kó gbogbo alẹ́rú nìyẹn? So ohun tá à ń sọ ń sìn ni wípé ọmọ Nàìjíríà gbọ́dọ̀ ní okun inú láti fi gbé tìta. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ otherwise àwọn òyìnbó ò sí lọ́dọ̀ wa sì tó ń kó wa lẹ́rú. Àwọn èèyàn dúdú bíi tiwa náà dẹ̀ ń kó wa lẹ́rú, àwa ara wa là ń kóra wa lẹ́rú. Now let me quickly correct something. I think it's one of your guests few days ago ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bí Èkó ṣe rí. Ìwọ náà dẹ̀ ti sọ nípa ẹ̀ ń sìn. But I must say it because I believe in development. I am not a politician, ṣùgbọ́n ìdàgbàsókè, iṣẹ́ ìdàgbàsókè ni mò ń ṣe. Ṣorí nígbà táwa wà lÉkòó, tá a ṣe kékeré lÉkòó ní in the early 60s, àmọ́ bí kò ṣe rí. Ṣorí nígbà tó ń di tí military ń lọ ní 1999, I'm sure pé ò kéré jù, àmọ́ bí kò ṣe rí. Military fi Èkó sílẹ̀ ní òhò ni, wọ́n rin Èkó ní òhò. And I'm saying this as a result of being a development practitioner. I am not a politician. I will never find compatibility with politics. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀tọ̀ ní ká rí pé àwọn kan ń gba owó, because I want us to be very realistic. 1999 to 2015. Look at this Lagos-Ibadan Express Road. Mẹ́ta ni wọ́n contracted. The first one was 360 billion. More riche. The next one, I don't have an idea of the actual amount. Tí ò bá ní ju 360 billion. The third one was concession. Òun náà fi gbé gbogbo nǹkan tá a ní, including the federal secretariat and everything, to somebody. And nothing happened. Now, today I can tell you authoritatively that Lagos-Ibadan Express Road is 95% completed. Now, that's a progress for èèyàn dúdú. It is a progress. Let us be honest with ourselves. When military was there, so late now, who was the governor of Lagos State at that time, Bola Ahmed Ashiru, got the instruction to stop the development of train, city train in Lagos State. It is now working. What we are saying, it takes America so many hundreds of years láti débi tí wọ́n délé ni. Tá bá lọ síbẹ̀ tá bá ń gbádùn tá ń wọkọ̀ láti ibìkan New York to this Pennsylvania, làágùn, just like the question tó béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi pé gbogbo ìrìn àjò yìí on the part of the mission kí lójú ti rí. Oríṣiríṣi ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n ti ní àwọn ìlú yẹn náà lọ́hùn. Wọ́n ti ní jẹgúdújẹrá, wọ́n ti ní kíní. But the basic thing is that ó dé level kan tó jẹ́ wípé àwọn citizens wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí develop with strength. They became strong. They will not accept any leader who is not ready to do what's right for them. That is what we must advocate for. Because in the up to today, ohun tá à ń rí ni wípé èyí tó jù nínú igbe táwọn èèyàn ń ké sìn wípé wọ́n change owó wọ́n ṣe kinní kan ẹlòmíì look jẹ́ kí mi ò parọ́ fún ẹ I have a friend he's late now he's an associate professor he was an associate professor ó ní wọ́n wá pín 200 fóun níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn an associate professor ó lóun gbà ó ní tí mi bá gbà gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó ń fún náà nǹkan tí mi bá gbà máa lọ ná síbòmí ó lóun á fi mu ìgò bíà méjì. That is the mentality even for such level of education. That's the kind of people we have. It's a weak posture which we must stop. We must be able to ask our leaders, you promise us this? Have you done it? How many of us learning strength láti ṣe yẹn? And that's what you younger ones, rather than striving to want to become president, easy. I must be honest with you, easy. Bola Tinubu tí gbogbo wa ń pariwo pé we want him. I want him. I must be honest with you. I don't want to be hypocrite. But when you look at what he has done outside government, what he has done within government, for me, because I belong to an organization, let me tell you this. Is one of the biggest chamber in Africa. Tabari Yokon, Tony pedigree, Tamopole Shin Konfuangela Malo Dobale Bepe wa join wa because your image matters to us. I'm talking of Lagos Chamber of Commerce. Toba J Wolari, Tariko Shidada. I've been with the chamber for more than 35 years, almost 40 years. Tabarikwe, you have a very strong network and you can promote the chamber. The chamber is the second largest chamber in Africa. Amawa Baeni Pidari, please, we are inviting you to come and become one of our vice presidents. That's the way we do it. When you see somebody, for instance, 1999, Lagos was a slum. Rome was not built in a day. The level we are today, look at Okun, I'm sure you are not too young. The ocean has sacked everybody, all the state governments that have their liaison offices and everything, they've been sacked. Federal government was just pouring stone and sands and everything. But look at, that has been turned to Eco-Atlantic city. That's the kind of development we need. One of your guests was saying that he went to Isolo, he went to this. Yes, there are still part of, look, don't look at it from the angle of where you live in South Africa. South Africa was built by white people. That's my second city. I visit South Africa regularly. Taba fi dato òyìnbó ni èèyàn dúdú èèyàn tó ń ṣe àpò àwọn àti bàjẹ́. And that's the wisdom of Mandela, of blessed memory. He insisted, just allow my people to enjoy the same thing you people are enjoying. We're not asking you to go because we can't do what you are doing. But whatever you do, this is our land. Let it be enjoyed by both the white and the black South Africans. Now, unfortunately, our dàgbà débi tó yẹ ká dé ká ti lé òyìnbó dànù pé àwa la máa ṣe fúnra wa. And of course, you will know that some of our people can look at Obafemi Awolowo in 1947. I hope I'm not taking too much of your time.
No, sir. We are getting there.
He was invited when they were asking for self-rule. He was invited with his two other colleagues, Nnamdi Azikiwe and when they started proving to them that what can you do? In your society, you have more than 50% maternal mortality. You have more than 75 child mortality, and you want to rule yourself. Awolowo said, leave that to us. Give us self-rule. I bet you everything you have in this country, the tallest building in UK at that time was 25-story building. He said, we'll replicate it. They have their university, their stadium, and other things. Awolowo said, he named them one by one. I said, within our first term of self-government, we will replicate everything. And you remember what's happened? Awolowo built the 25-story building, Cocoa House. He didn't call it Awolowo House. He called it Cocoa House. Within 5 years, he built it. He came to Lagos. He built Western House, 24-story building on Marina. Sorry, on Broad Street.
On Broad Street.
He built the big stadium. You know, he called it Liberty Stadium.
Liberty Stadium.
University of Ife, which is equivalent of what they have there. He did everything within 5 years. He did everything. Nobody was challenging him. No citizens were asking him, Baba, you must do this. You promised this. He did it voluntarily. And many of the things, heritage he built at that time, they are still serving us today till today. All the Ilupeju, all the Ikeja axis, Apapa, and every Ibadan, you know, all the industries you have in Ibadan. He brought investors to come and establish in Nigeria. That's the kind of human being we need. But because we are weak, we could not produce good leader any longer. We are weak. If all of us are as strong as Fisayo, oh yes, with all our talents and abilities, you will see that no leader who is not so strong will be able to lead us. We have to change. Lagos can, in a way, it's not exaggeration. Lagos has become the 5th, as a matter of fact, unwritten, it is the 3rd largest economy in Africa. Imagine we have 54 countries in Africa. Lagos has overtaken 55 countries. Lagos has overtaken 52 countries. You see? And whether by stealing, by anything, I remember before 1999, as a businessman, when I get my tax clearance, when it gets to the place I'm going to submit it, they will say, oh, okay, this is fake. This is fake. Until Tinubu came and changed the face of everything. And from 600 million, not billion, 600 million naira. Lagos today is having eternally generating income of 61 billion naira.
Esther, let me quickly come in there. Let me quickly come in there. I just want to, because the conversation is all about us bringing the balance in the community. So do you see these achievements that you mentioned intentionally take you to that route? Because I know that route is going to give back today. Do you see these achievements, talking about the Lagos, do you see this achievement be duplicated to the real, to Nigeria? Let's say after the election on Saturday, if the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu become the president, do you see this same thing happening to Nigeria?
Absolutely.
Yeah, on a federal level, right?
Let me tell you one thing. This was the dream of Shiva Awolowo. When he had performed all those miracles in Southwest, he became so, people thought he was hungry for power. He wanted to go to the federal to go and do it. They didn't allow him. The power that don't want development, they blocked him. They sent him to jail. They harassed him. They did everything they could do. This world is different now. If Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu become president by next week, okay, it is because the world is already changing. Like one billionaire in UK said, he said everything is changing. You can no longer, this man that owns television, everything, I think it's called Budok or something like that. He said you can no longer take free will of the people. You cannot control people anyhow. Otherwise, there are people who don't want development, who will not want anybody that wish to do it to do it. Let me give you one example. I'm not campaigning, but I tell you I'm a development practitioner. Mobile oil, for many decades, they don't want to invest in Nigeria because they see Nigeria as an unstable country. They don't want to have anything to do. So their head office was in Broad Street, Bookshop House, that tall building. And all the vehicles they used were hired. Civilian buses and so on for their staff were all hired until Tinubu got to that place. And Tinubu told them, no, you can't be doing like this. We will build a house for you. They had to make him to make an undertaking. You know, his boss that he gave the proposal is still working under him. He's my distant friend. He's still working under him, that Ondo man. The man told him to go and make an undertaking. You know what he did? He just said, I'm not even going to ask Mobil to spend his money. All the shares, capital, uncollected share capitals, both in the US and in Nigeria, everywhere, he put all of them together without Mobil preparing a special budget for that building. He built the house, the famous Mobil House headquarters that you have in Victoria Island. That was the way it was built. This is a matter of an idea. Many of the things the federal government are doing today, they are doing it. They were ideas of Bola Tinubu, but implementations of those things were wrong. So if you ask me to vote for a devil and to vote, I don't want to relegate the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. You vote for somebody who is close. I mean, even if I have not seen the mightiness, the power, the ability of the Lord or his representative, I will vote. Lagos cannot be compared to what you saw in 1999.
Okay, then let's make it a debate. Let's make it a debate so that we can be able to have more lighting on it. A lot of people are connecting to this program, but those of you joining us, please, you are free to call on +27 703 3584. Olufisayo Odebode, she's not a politician, but she's one of the strong women of our time. It's a strength that we want to use as a case study to prove to Africa that Africa have the tenacity, we have the capacity, we have the capability to be able to start from nothing and build something sustainable for ourselves.
Yes.
And we want to prove to African women that there is strength in you, African women. Don't bow down your head and say, no, we cannot do it because we are women. The strength is in you. It's time for you to wake up. You are part of this team. You are part of the solution to the problem of Africa. We are not campaigning on this program for anybody. Rather, we are facing the reality for us to be able to know the future. And that is why I put Otobadele Ajayi Smith on the spotlight because of his experience and because of his professionalism. Sir, we really appreciate what you are saying, but let's put them side by side. Let's put the issue of the ordinary citizen into the spotlight right now. Let's look at the way people are thinking now in Nigeria. Let's look at the situation right now in Nigeria. Do you think that the ordinary citizen can be able to reason the way you reason now and coming up with this idea that you believe that is going to work for us? What can you say on behalf of ordinary citizen?
Now, let me just use Fisayo's example. There are thousands and thousands of girls, ladies, who will even tempt their professors to sleep with them if they are going to be a benefit, short-term benefits for them. If they're going to, especially when she was going through ill health experiences, and she wants to have a BSc, she wants to become a unique person. She would have, if she's not strong, she would have cut corners and get to where she is, but it's not going to be sustainable. A lot of girls, not only that the professor, the doctors will lure them, will harass them, will violate them, but they will even instigate the professors, the lecturers to do it. But because she's strong, she ward off this from the family, she ward off it from the university. And look at her. How many of our mates are writing books? How many of our mates are unfolding their talents to sing in praises of the Lord? And of course, music, songs are food of the spirit. When I listened to songs, I was moved spiritually. I was moved. Now all those talents are unfolding because she has demonstrated that she can be strong. And that's what we need, especially youths, to inculcate, to develop, so that when they once they have all these abilities, as a matter of fact, the leaders will be afraid to violate even the rights of the citizen. The leaders, they are also afraid, but when they know that tabati rowo díẹ̀, a máa succumb. So wọ́n kàn ní àwọn eléyìí tabati fún wọn lówó wọn ní pariwo mọ́. Wọn ní pariwo mọ́. Èyí tó jù nínú nǹkan tó wà. Look at what is happening. Like I told you, I'm a development practitioner. I'm not a politician. Search for me. I'm sure you have gone through my profile. You have gone everywhere to go and check about me. Now, the reality is that after President Muhammadu Buhari has ruled us, it's another subject, okay? Whether rule us well, everybody has his own opinion. When it gets to that, I will tell you my own opinion. But after 8 years, the arrangement is that this thing should shift back to the South. For a politician it's an audacity to think that power should be retained in the North. It is an audacity. It is disrespect to the entire nation. To the entire nation. And that is why we must be strong as a citizen. You know, I named my foundation African Citizens Development Foundation. I was running my engineering company, and I discovered very dishonest activities of my workers in those days. That was when I realized that truly the problem. I will never hold my staff salary. All the money that I should be using to make myself comfortable, I was using it to pay their salary. But they ruined my business. They messed me up. It was then I realized that the problem of this society is not leadership, it is followership. The follower will destroy you. They will destroy you because they want to get there. They want to get there without experience, without knowledge. Many of them still beg me for food up to today. So the citizens need to be strong. Need to be strong, not asking for short-term benefit, cutting corners. Geographically, the straight road is always the shortest. And if you take it may be very, very tedious, but if you take the straight road, it's not the issue of, oh, I didn't know that they break that corner. I didn't know they blocked it. I didn't know there is a barrier there now. Nobody will come and put barrier on the straight road. Dari, nobody will go and put barrier except they announce to you that Ikorodu Road is going to go through some special repairs. They will not just go and put barrier there and block the road, but they can do that with any side road. And so I am saying that development in Lagos is unique, and we can get it to the level it is in South Africa. Since Africa started ruling South Africa, a lot has changed. We never had that there is power failure in South Africa before. Now you have it. Now you have it because blacks are ruling and they are corrupt. They're doing all sorts of terrible things. I remember
that is where the debate is actually coming from. I know you want to talk about your view towards the current government, but I just want us to look at the ourselves, because it's a great thing that we personally deal with our own problem, so that we stop pointing finger to the left and right and blaming others. Sir,
yes.
I wrote a book that says, I'm still working on it. It's going to take time, but it said the spirit called black. And this spirit called black is a spirit that when it got to a place where system is working, he wants to stop system working. This spirit called black, if you go to central Johannesburg today and look at the central Johannesburg in 20 years ago, you will cover your eyes that what is going on here. I have opportunities to meet with the whites that stayed in Johannesburg in 20 years ago. And when they go there now, they're like, what exactly is going on here? Because the blacks have turned the place to total messed up. Sir, the question is this, and I want Messiah to respond into this, because you are author and you've wrote a book out of your own personal experience. Your strength to put that books together is what I'm using on this program this hour. And it's what we are going to use going forward to this election. Let's look at the black as a case study. What exactly is our problem? Why is it that we are the one that we are actually destroying ourselves, tearing ourselves apart, and not even being happy when we want to make it? So, Peter, I just want to talk about it. Then I will now link it up to Otobadele Ajayi Smith. I just want you to say something about it, because it starts with us.
So I feel Otuba is the best place to answer this question, but I will just say one or two things. If we look back at history, I can't really tell what it is, but it's pretty obvious that we are not a very good people. We are not so good to ourselves. We are weak.
Your voice is gone.
We can't hear you again.
We can't hear you again. I know a phone call comes in. Yeah, we can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. you can step out and come in again. All right, sir, I can leave the floor for you to continue with what you are saying, and you can deal with that, sir.
Yes, the continent is called the Black Continent. You heard me when I said I am bringing together so many of you, the youth, even the diaspora, and so on, so that we can work together to bring light to this continent. Many of the observations are actually spiritual. And of course, because every one of us believe in one thing or the other, we are not even as good as our old fathers, who, for instance, believe in reincarnation, who will name their children Yetunde, Babatunde, Yewande, you know, all those things. They believe that that spirit coming has lived somewhere. And if he has lived somewhere, if for instance he has lived in America and is now nature is now bringing him back to Africa. And at the time he was leaving America, died there and is repeating another hard life in any part of Africa. It is because, like it is said in computer programming, if what you have at the last point is garbage, you are going to bring garbage to this, to your next experience. So many of the people living up there that have not done it well, they are bringing garbage back to this place. They are the same people. We are the same people, and there are many of the people that live in America, in UK today. They have once lived in Africa, but they've done well. They've moved to a higher level. Now, there is a word that says you can determine a man, who a man is, by his environment. The African people, and there is also a knowledge that says that the garments you will wear in your next health life is determined by your behavior, by your past behavior. So if you are once a white person and you misbehave, you are going to wear a black garment, which is our physical body. Now, and if your attitude is garbage, you bring the garbage here. You cannot do anything. Look at the entire Africa, 1.3 billion. We're improving gradually. We are improving now. In Nigeria, we don't allow military to come back again. Otherwise, once they cause confusion, they want military to come and take over so that they can continue to take charge of the country. We have gone past that. And I bet you, because even when you read your Bible very well, the kingdom of God is coming. And for that, Africa will not remain what it is forever. It will change. That is not within the power of human beings. That is not within the power of political leaders. It is because God himself will take over this country, this world. But we need to do our part. So that we can determine who governs us and what is the pedigree of somebody who is coming to govern us. And what you younger ones can be doing for now, because let me tell you, I am 71. I will be 71 in April. If you ask me, if I begin to put together my structure, my political structure, I want to become a relevant politician, to become a president of the country. By now is when I will be realizing it. Look at what is the name of the current American president?
Joe Biden.
He has
Building.
Biden. He has celebrated 80th birthday few months ago. That is a country where development has taken shape. It takes longer time for somebody to get to that level. You continue to assemble your knowledge to become, your experiences to become knowledge, and then to have wisdom. So it will not get to you with all the brilliant things you two young people are doing, Fisayo, and so you won't know when Fisayo will become 50-year-old, 60-year-old, and you begin to struggle. Oh, how can I look at the beautiful lady in America? You know that lady who is now preparing herself, a black lady who is preparing herself to contest for presidency of United States of America. What's her name? She's a black lady, musician. She has, Fisayo must know. She's a black lady. She is now
in America.
Huh?
Where in America?
In America, yes.
Oh, not.
Powerful lady. She's the richest woman in the world.
Oh, do you mean Oprah or do you mean Beyonce?
Oprah.
Okay.
Yes. You know, she's preparing now to contest as next president after Biden. She's my age. Okay, maybe I'm 1 year older. Look at the years she's been coming. She was born in 1954. I'm 2 years older. You know, look at the years she's been putting all these things in place now to want to contest for American presidency. It's not a day now, except if miracle happen, it could happen.
Oh, so I think we lost him. I think one of the challenges we also have amongst Black people is the fact that we have an entitlement mindset. We feel like things must always be done for us. And I understand. Yeah, I understand that because of, if we use hindsight again, you know, the fact that our resources have been taken by people, people have put us down for so long. And, you know, it just takes me back to what Otumba said, that, you know, we have so many weak people. It's not like there is no strength at all, but we have refused to tap into our strength, and we are focusing on the past. You know, I said in that book, there was a chapter that I said, let go of the past. We are still fixated on yesterday. History is good, but it's meant to help us to become better. We are supposed to use our hindsight to say, oh, what did we do wrong? You know, and like Otumba said, we were the ones doing ourselves. So that slave trade, it was Black people that were selling Black people. Or Black people that were trading their fellow Black people. So I was, back to the question that you asked earlier on. You know, the lack of love, entitlement mindset, and even we are not service oriented. We don't want to help other people. We don't want to serve our fellow man. And it still comes back to this weakness of man, because there is so much strength. There is so much maturity in saying, hey, I want to lay aside what my own personal needs are. And that's my concern about people who vie for leadership roles here in Nigeria. There are a lot of them who go for personal purposes, not because they want to serve. And, and Otumba mentioned, sir?
90% of the people that go to politics. In fact, that would be generous to say 90%. Who goes for the and sorry, I don't want you to forget what you are saying. I am old enough to remember that many of my colleagues who destroy all our industries, they went into politics. They stole dry all the industries in Nigeria because they want to go into politics. They are the ones that destroy everything. All the industries you see, UTC, these. Look, we are glad, like Guinness, like some of these breweries, that just made us drunk, and we still want to continue to get drunk. But major industries that we have in this country, if you have the same experience I had, for instance, a Papa Industrial Estate.
Is it my service?
Hello, you are back.
I think
Yes.
I think it's your service. It's your service, yeah. But it's okay. You are back now.
Go ahead. I don't.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Am I? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Aha. You know, like I was saying, at the end of the day, it's still Black people that are hurting themselves. And you know, I'm going back to what Otumba said about weakness. If you tap into your wealth of capacity, if you build capacity for yourself, if you tap into your strength, you would realize that there is more to you that meets the eye. It's too average for you to just live for yourself. There is no, if you have nothing to live for, if you have nobody to serve, there is no point living actually, because at the end of the day, you create a family and you are still living for yourself. You are not serving your family. You are in a community. You are not serving your community. You are in a country. You are in a world. You are not making the place a better place. There is absolutely no point living. And that's the challenge that we have in Africa. That's the challenge that we have among Black people. The countries that we are emulating today, they gave their blood, their sweat, their money. And that's why democracy is, you know, we can debate it, is working to an extent in developed world, because people are parting with their money to support a politician.
Absolutely.
In Nigeria, a politician is using is going to acquire money from Nigerians, steal people's wealth, and then use it to run for office. And get into that office, whose purpose is he going to serve? He's going to serve his own purpose at the end of the day, because nobody has any stake in it. You didn't donate. You didn't go out and put your name, your integrity on the person's campaign. When you put your integrity, your money, your life, your sweat on it, you will hold the politician by the jugular. That my own savings, you used my savings to run your campaign.
Exactly.
You used my integrity. I came out and said, and people voted you because of me, because of what I said. Meaning that my integrity is at stake. You have to deliver. But we don't do that here. Nobody is putting their name on it. People that are putting their name on it are putting their name on it for their own personal purpose, because the politician has paid them a certain amount of money. Exactly. And that's why it was interesting to me. I do not have any political party or particular individual. Even though I'm saying, hey, go out there and vote and all of that, I'm still trying to decide on who to vote. And that's why I appreciate what Otumba said. He has decided, and he was able to lay down the reasons why he decided on this person. He said, I am not a politician. Nobody has paid him to do anything, but he's picking this person based on the person's history. Some other person will say, I am not picking this person because of so and so. It's your choice. Do you understand? But that's his own choice, and that's his own decision based on his history, based on his own perspective towards life, towards service, towards nation building, towards community development. Do you understand? Now we have a lot of people, like he said, a lot of weak people out there. They are just following the crowd. Some people will follow Ashiwaju because of this. Some people will follow Peter Obi because of this. Some people will follow Atiku because of this. And there is no substance to the reason why they are voting these individuals. They are just voting these individuals because they feel it's good for them. Maybe they've collected 2,000 naira. They've collected. So there is no. So at the end of the day, we are hurting ourselves. No conviction. Yes, we are hurting ourselves. So now I can't categorically come out and say, oh, this is the person I'm voting. Some years ago, I could do that. But at this point, I have so many things that are just confusing me that I'm still, but I will vote. I'm at the end of the day going to, and that's why some people, they say last minute campaign is very important. Last minute, the things you say, they are very, because there are some of us that are undecided yet, but we know that we are going to vote. We are just still struggling because we believe in this person for so reason. We believe in this other person for so reason. And then the brain is just there. Hey, am I going this way? Am I going this way? Who am I going to be? You know, but I want to put it out there that in Africa, in Nigeria, you know, let's start with Nigeria here because that's where we are. We need to be more people we need to be more people oriented. We need to be more service oriented, and we need to be. That's why I'm going to use the story of Jesus in the Bible. That Jesus, when he was saying that at the end of the day, is your love for God and your love for humanity. You see all those laws that they laid out in the Old Testament. Do you understand? At the end of the day, your love for humanity, there is a way it compels you to just do what is right. There is a way it compels you to have a right standing in the society, to pay your taxes, to do all manner of things, and then you can boldly say, hey, I am a person of substance, a person of value in my community, and I am full of love. Because without love, you will not want to lay down. Jesus Christ, at the end of the day, he laid down his life because of love. For God so loved the world that he now gave his only begotten. What are you laying down? What are you giving? What are you doing? Because you love. Do you understand? And that's why we are not in tune. And that's why our politicians are leveraging in a very horrible way. They are weaponizing poverty. They are weaponizing tribalism, the religious division, and everything. There's no religious tolerance. You are living with a Muslim and you cannot tolerate the person because you believe that Jesus Christ died for your sins, and the person must be a Christian. Who told you? At the end of the day, we'll get to heaven to find out who the real believer is. Do you understand? I'm a Christian. I'm all out a Christian. But at the end of the day, there are so many things that we believe, we just have faith in. At the end of the day, life after now is where we'll know what is the authentic thing. Do you understand? So you must appreciate other people. You must appreciate other people, the diversity. The diversity in life, that is who God is. God has many sides, and that's why we can have somebody practicing worshiping God in a particular way, worshiping God in another way that is not familiar to you. I'm not saying there is a right or wrong in this. I'm not saying that the person is correct. I'm not saying the person is wrong, but you must tolerate. You must tolerate. You have to tolerate. There is no one way. And he said, may your way be rough. This life, you use that title and risk quote, that may your road be rough. It's true.
Exactly.
In this life, everything is just, you must just find a way to be level-headed, to be sane, and to live a life of impact. Now, Black people are not good to themselves, and it comes from entitlement. It must go my way. It comes from selfishness. It is rooted in mankind, and unfortunately, in Africa, we have not been able to break through that selfishness. In developing part of the world or developed part of the world, they've been able to identify. We have scholars. They've been able to identify some of these challenges, and they've gone all out to try and solve the problem of mankind. They will not get it 100%, but they are trying hard to educate people, trying hard to serve people the more, trying hard to do what works best for their community. Are we doing that here? Are we doing that? So,
may I just add something, Fisayo?
Yes, sir.
You know that in developed world, instead of people criticizing this government, that government, you know what they do? They set up ideas, ideologies, where they meet with those minors of the government. You will see a man who is a billionaire. If you look at this man, what's his name? The former richest man in the world, the computer man.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. Now, there are a lot of billionaires who send money to its foundation every year. Not small money. This one will say, from my profit, I give you 10 billion. Go and help develop the world. So what Bill Gates is using is not his personal money. He has his own contribution. Other billionaires who don't want to compete with him, who don't fear of him being the Bill Gates, they put their money there in Bill Gates Foundation and make sure that Bill Gates is forget about whatever Bill Gates now do. A lot of conspiracy theory that he wanted to destroy half of the world. He wanted to do this. But the point I'm making is that it's not only him. American people will just look at it and say, government is having shortfall in education. Let 3, 4, 5 of us come together and support education. Some will go for agriculture. Some will go for child mortality. Some will go for gender equality and all the rest of it. I mean, that's what you are saying. Instead of us to begin to envy, how come Dangote has so much money? How come this will happen to this? How come? Look, they come in their own small way, in their big way, and put money together and support government in development instead of criticizing. And in fact, the attitude of criticizing comes from weak mind. When you envy, it is from weak mind. When you hate, it is from weak mind. But when you can come and say, "Oh yes, I must, what do you call it? Come up with this music that will make humanity to be happy," from strong mind. When you come and say, "I can write this and this, and these people can read it," and they become happy and stronger, they increase in their wealth of experience, it is a strong mind. So that's where we blacks must develop ourselves now to ensure that we support whoever is ruling us. At a point, whoever cannot do it well will not come on the stage. Our strength will not allow such person to come on the stage.
All right.
Thank you. You are wonderful.
Let's quickly try to put them together now. We have already scattered them. I just want to put them together right now. We already spent 2 hours, 6 minutes on this program. And I want to sincerely thank everyone that have stepped back. Fumi Oloyede, thank you very much. Mariboman joining us all the way from Jamaica. She's live and direct, and as well, I really appreciate you. Also, IC Thomas is joining us from US. IC Thomas, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. A lot of people are connecting and they are putting their view into this conversation. What we are saying in essence is this, and I want us to please get this out of this program. The reason why I put the 2 great words into this conversation is this: I bring somebody from the past and that understand the present and see the future, and I bring somebody from the past as well, seeing the future and believing in now, and I pair the 2 together. What we want to achieve in this conversation is this. Firstly, women, let me focus on you now. You have the strength, you have the power. Your voice is the strength that you have to deliver this generation. So I'm talking to all the women. Stop being competing with no, do what you need to do to bring the balance and solution to the problem of the world or your society and your community. And I'm saying to the elderly generation that you don't need to look down on the youth. And the typical, great example of that is Otobadeli Ajayi Smith. Otobadeli Ajayi doesn't say that because who are these young people? They are still youth. They are still in their 40s. I'm in my 70s. But Otobadeli Ajayi come to our level. We put heads together. We are finding permanent solution to the problem of our society. And Olufisayo Odebode already put a book together, which is already on the spotlight on this program. So I'm encouraging every one of you right now, hold your stuff, go out there, go and grab the copy. And I'm throwing this to October. This book needs to go beyond where it is now. That is one of the assignments I am connecting you to this program. This book needs to go beyond what it is now. And because of your exposure, the organization you hold, and because of who you are in the community, I'm handing over that to you, Otuba. Because we have a great leader. When our leader have opportunity, even if it's possible for you, you can give it as a gift to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, it's up to you, Otuba. You can give it
Yeah.
to all the politicians that you know. It's up to you, Otuba. Everyone needs to read this book. The story of Olufisayo Odebode is a great story that will make Africa and Nigeria to get it right. For the leaders to know that we are not weak, we are strong. For the leaders to know that there is a voice of a woman that is speaking. For the leaders to see their role in the community. For the leaders to be able to do what they need to do. It's not about promise. It's not about manifesto. It's not about what the party say. It's not about party now. It's about the people. It's about the ordinary citizen of Africa. It's about the great continent Africa. It's about the masses. So let us put this book out there. Let every politician have the copy of this book. Reason being that they will be able to see that we have a voice in our community that is calling us to sober reflection, that is calling us to the reality, that is calling us for us to wake up to the reality of the time. And all of us have done our own part by putting this book together. Hold on to your stuff. Is the book that we need to go out there and grab a copy. So for everyone joining us, own your stuff. Is the book on the spotlight right here. Don't go to election without having a copy of that book, because you will also become a leader tomorrow. Yeah. And when you become a leader, you don't have experience. It will be difficult for you to lead. And leadership is not about you being the president of the country. It starts from your home. How are you taking care of your children? Are you molesting the younger one? As the Fisaya have been molested by the people that she trusts. She trusted them, but she's been molested. What are you doing as a leader? You are blaming the leaders, but in your own house as a father, you are molesting your child. You are also a bad leader. Stop blaming the other leaders. You are a leader in your home space. The child in the house is also a leader. You are a firstborn in the family, you are a leader. You are the lastborn of the family, you are a leader. Leadership is not about where you are or because you wear a crown or because they entitle you to lead a community. No, leadership is something that anywhere you find yourself, you are leader in one way or the other. Olufisayo Odebode have explained it to us, and she have explained it to us. So go and grab the copy of this book. And I'm handing over that to Otuba Dele Ajayi Smith as a responsibility. Otuba, I appreciate you for coming out. You are the great leader of our time. You have proven to us on this program, and you have let the African know, Nigeria knows that don't go to election without having understanding of what it is. Otuba, you are saying something about the Yaba, some friends that I don't want you to leave any stone untouched. I will give you 1 minute to round up that. Then after that, we're doing the final thing. In 2 minutes, we should be out of this place. Otuba, just 1 minute to round up what you are saying about Yaba. Some of your friends, they do some damage and you are talking about it. I just want you to finish that, Otuba. Then Fisayo will say our own word and we'll say goodbye from there.
I can't remember that statement.
You are talking about Yaba, and you are talking about some of your friends that actually empty some of the companies and they emptied it to go into politics.
Oh, not Yaba, really, not Yaba. All the industrial setup in Nigeria. If you go to Ilupeju today, if you go to Ibadan, if you go to Ikeja Industrial Estate, everything has been looted. People goes into, the industrial manager, that's the way I put it. Industrial managers said they stole everything that belongs to the company. The younger ones are now looking for job. Let me give you one example. One of the, I will not mention, one of the industries that produces beer in this country, what they do is, some 20, 30 years ago, they will give trailers for two. That is, a distributor will come and pay for 2 trailers, 2 trucks load of beverages, and they will give them 3. That one, the other, that person will pay to the management. And who pays? It is the common man on the street, the consumers. Gradually, people started losing taste for all those products. And many of these companies collapsed completely. They're no longer in existence. And when that happens, you know how many people have lost job.
Yeah.
Some of these people, they now go out, build houses, go into politics. Those are bad politicians that you still see using money to get political office. They don't have any pedigree. They don't have anything that they will be able to say, oh, imagine, I'm sorry, pardon me if you think I'm being one-sided. When Tinubu has built that mobile house in Victoria Island, he resigned. He said he wants to go and contest for election. Then he became a senator on a process that was dismantled by Babangida at that time. Then the war started. There was this struggling between Abacha and the pro-democracy. And that lasted from 1993 to 1999. When democracy was restored.
When God intervened.
and then he now came to become governor of Lagos State. Now look at it. Beautiful job in Mobile. He left it out of conviction that he wants to support his people. That's the kind of pedigree I'm looking for as a development practitioner. Look, as close as Tinubu could be to me, I never met him one-on-one. His senior colleague, his school master, as we call, a friend of mine, he was a very good friend of mine. He was 6-7 years older than him. He is 6-7 years older than me. He's called Engineer Afolabi. You understand? He was in class 5 when Tinubu came into class 1 in his secondary school. Works with him. But unfortunately, I have never met Tinubu one-on-one. I have advocated, look, in the early 80s, I advocated, 2003, I started advocating for Okada, motorbike, not to be allowed in Lagos State, anywhere. I sent a message a proposal to him. He organized his commissioner for works, Bello, commissioner for environment, to talk to me. We spoke for almost a year. The same thing I wrote and forwarded to El Rufai when he was the Director General of Flat Capital Territory. He executed it within 6 months. He sent all motorbikes away. And that's why when you go to Abuja now, it is a clean place. Before you will get motorbike, you will get to the neighboring city. And what we advanced at that time is that motorbike is not a help to anybody. All our artisans are abandoning their job to go and ride motorbike for a day job. And they kill themselves, they kill their passengers. Many opportunities are lost. So we did all of this.
Because of our time constraint, I'm still bringing you back, Otumba. We are still going to be having you on the spotlight and on the red seat and on the yellow seat and also on the hot seat. So, Otumba, Mr. needs to leave now, and I want us to just give us a final word, especially regarding the coming election. I know she's not a politician, but God will give you the voice. God will give you the voice. God will give you the pen to write. So you are a writer, you are a singer, and also you are a leader as a, instructor, and also the music coach. So I just want you to round it up in your own way in 1 minute. Then I will give Otuba also 1 minute to round up. Then we call it a day out of this program. Then the rest, I'm bringing Otuba back, and I'm bringing Fisayo back as well for continuation.
Yes.
Wow, it's been a good time anyway. So coming back is not going to be difficult for me because I had a great time. I learned a lot just by being here. Otumba has been, a light on this call, on this session. I think I'll just pick it up from where I was coming from in terms of voting and all of that. At the end of the day, if we say we believe that we want to build a nation, then we have to be a part of the system. We have to get involved,
Exactly.
So you can't see politics and say, hey, I don't want to be associated with it. You do not have to be a politician, but you have to get involved. The systems that are working is because the people in the middle class, in the low class, in the high class, everyone, as being a part of the system, they have put something on it. They have stake in it. And so I would just encourage people to still get involved. If you don't feel called to politics, find a way to make sure that your voice is heard, that you contribute to the development of the nation. One way you can do that is to go out and vote. So you must think of somebody to vote for, so that at the end of the day, you can hold somebody accountable. I'm not saying that people who are unable to vote cannot hold their leaders accountable. But we have people who are not voting, they are not paying tax, they are not contributing to the economy, they are not, just nothing. So you must find a way to be a part of the system. So peradventure, you're unable to go out and vote for health reasons, or maybe you are not yet 18, speaking to people who are still below the age that can vote, you can find a way to still be a part of it. Speak to somebody, talk to people who you feel can vote, encourage your friends, your aunties, your uncles, engage them, have conversations like we are having here. You can have these conversations in the family. You can have these conversations in school. You can have these conversations. Having conversations, healthy conversations, are part of nation building, because there is the place where you get to know people's other perspectives and gain knowledge, and hear from people who know more than you do, people who have more experience than you do, and even from people who, with their little lenses to life, you can be able to see, other aspects or the other perspectives to the community and to the nation. And so I'll just encourage us to go out there and be a part of the system. I'm going to vote. I've not decided who, but I'm going to vote. Yeah. I just always make sure that I do that, because that way I can say, yes, I'm not a politician, but I'm part of the politicking in my nation, and my voice can be heard. For people who are unable to vote this time around, please make sure that you can do that next time. Make sure that you get your PVCs. Sir, Otumba, one of the reasons why some people cannot vote is that the system, they made it so difficult. Getting your PVC is so tiring. I remember when I wanted to get my PVC, it was a struggle. I was like, why do I have to go through all this? Because I want to vote. Yes, I understand the system.
Fisayo is part of the conversation that we're supposed to have. It's still in my book that I wrote down. But because you mentioned it, I will just spend 1 minute on it. Otuba, let's look at that as well, because you are not the politician, I agree with you, but you are the man of the people and you are the leader of the community. Why is it that every system in Nigeria needs to be difficult for the citizen to access?
Yeah.
People need to go through the pain for them to be able to access simple things.
It is because we are difficult ourselves. It is because we, the society, we create bottleneck. Let me give you one example. I accredit about 7 representatives to the United Nations every year, and I just finished doing one. And UN has a very rigid position. They will allow me to to register 7 representatives. The acronym of my foundation is ACDF. They will allow me to register 7 representatives, including myself. Now, they also allow me to register short-time representatives that they will register for between 1 week to 3 months. Now, we discover that they have changed their policy. Just this year, after the coronavirus, this is the first year we are doing accreditation. And their very rigid position is that once you have registered somebody, that person, you cannot change it. I discovered that 2 of my delegates will not be able to travel to US for this year because of their entry visas. And I just look at it and say, one thing I've learned in management is that you can change policy of a country. You can change policy of any organization. So I decided to write UN yesterday and said, look, 2 of my representatives are not going, but there are 2 people from Kenya who are ready to go. Can you please change this? And you know what? You know, we wake up, we start working 8 o'clock in Nigeria. They are still sleeping. By 12 o'clock, will be their morning when they are resuming work. By 2 o'clock, I got their letter and said, we have approved your request. Put in the 2 names. And that is a way to make things work. You can change policy of a country if you are strong and if you are doing it rightly too. If you are doing things rightly, majority of what we shouted here that government is doing, we are the people doing it. Civil servants, they will create bottleneck. They will never allow things to work because of what they will gain. Look at the Naira exchange that we're talking about. There was a joke, a fiction. Somebody said, somebody just walked into a POS shop and said, how much are you going to change 10,000 Naira for me? The man said 5,000. The man removed his gun and put it on the table and said, now, how much are you changing it for me? He said 200. And he said, now change it. Did you get the joke? He said he wanted 5,000 for 10,000 before. He wanted that man to pay 5,000 for 10,000. And the man pulled out gun and put it on his table and said, now I have 10,000 to change. How much are you collecting from me? The same man said 200 Naira. Who is that government? It is we. We don't love development. We don't love anything good. And this orientation, this orientation must change. Many of the leaders will take advantage of our weakness. They will want us to remain weak. They will want us to begin to do rubbish so that they can exploit us better.
Right.
I really appreciate every one of you that you are connecting. I have to go now because we have a program coming up now. And thank you very much, Otuba. We all contribute to the downfall of our country. If we do the right thing, the country will move forward. But if we continue punishing ourselves in every little space where we are, to make life difficult for people, then the country also is going to be in a mess. So, to everyone, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate Dr. Badele Ajayi. Thank you for the pleasure of your time. I'm bringing you back. And Olubisayo, your book is already trending. Please go out there, go and grab the copy. I am handing you over now to Otuba Dele Ajayi. Should the book not go in the way it's supposed to go, I will hold Otuba accountable for that. Thank you very much. I believe I'll
give my number to Fisayo so that we can connect.
Okay.
Definitely, sir. I will do that. That is the main reason of connecting 2 of you together. I didn't tell Fisayo at the beginning, and I didn't tell Otuba at the beginning. So I achieved the purpose of having this program because it's come from Otuba himself for me to exchange the two number. So to everyone joining us, thank you very much. This is the African Portal Radio TV International. Our job is to find balance to the community, to promote African culture, and you can come here plus 277033584. Otumba, you want to say something?
No, I want to say I appreciate the two of you. You are very strong, and you are future.
Thank you, sir. We learn from the best. We learn from the best. We follow the footsteps of the best. So you are the great leader, and we are following your leadership. God bless you, Otumba. Thank you very much for the pleasure. I will know you more than this, and this is just the beginning. We're going to be having more conversation. Mr. Yo, you are not new to me. We are part of this together. God bless you. You see, it's getting better and better every day. God bless every one of you. Keep enjoying Fisayo's music and dance to it. Go and download it. It's all about God. It's all about Africa. God bless Africa. Goodbye. My name is Dare Oluso, and I'm your host on this program. God bless every one of you. If I don't invite you, I'll let you back. Ojú òní ti wá ire lójú owó rire nílé ìrè lọ́dẹ̀ ìrè gbogbo tẹ bá wà ẹ ní dààmú ẹ ní wálé orúkọ mi ìyípadà mi náà ni ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín olùdarísọmọ olùṣọ́ àgùntàn Samuel Olúṣẹ́gun olùsèmí lọ pápádá mọ́tàn fọmọkùnrin bọ́ọ̀lẹ̀ ọmọ sọsí ìsúnsọ àwọn kárí fi kọ́lé tí ọmọ orí ọjọ́ kẹfà tí ìṣerúkú lẹ́lẹ́tò ojú òrí tiẹ̀jẹ̀ láti lè yá mi nípa bí ẹ̀kú bá bà mí ò sí nílẹ̀ láàjà tán tí máa ń bẹ́ẹ̀ lé adúgbò ẹran fún mi jẹ ọmọ orí mo lùsìn lèmi ọmọ ajíbọ̀ rẹ̀ ṣe tẹ̀jẹ́ ọmọ ajíbọ̀ ọ̀tẹ̀ ṣe tí ó jẹ́ ojú òní tiwa ìbàjẹ́ òní bá wa a ní rí gbé sọnù bí ò ṣe bí ọmọ ẹwẹ èdè Yorùbá dùn ẹja mọ ṣèdè Yorùbá fáwọn ọmọ wa ire báyìí náà ni kó bá wa ìlú Ìbàdàn náà ti bí lọ́mọ Ìbàdàn ní Olúyọ̀lé ìlú Ìbíkúnlé alágbàlá ológòdó kẹrí lójú ogun wọn lébọ lẹ́yìn Jagunlabi ńlára wájú Ìbàdàn mọjà tó fi kára wájú lẹ́rú ọmọ agbósásámọsá ọmọ àyàyàmọyà ẹwà èdè ní kò sí nǹkan tí ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ kò pé méjì òyìnbó ò lè sọrú ẹ wò ẹ mọ tara yín jẹ ẹ mọ ṣèdè òyìnbó sọmọ yín ẹ mọ sọ Yorùbá ó dàárọ̀ o ó dàbọ̀ ẹ gbádùn Fisáyọ̀ ire o.
And I realized when I plug into God, I ask anything. Anything. It sounds ridiculous, but God meets us at the point of our needs.